Well, I'm excited because I talked to this guy last year, and I'm getting to talk to him again. It's kind of a new world that we live in, so I'm interested to get his take on how things are going. But this guy is one of the most incredible people I've ever seen perform. You know him from his hit TV show on True TV, The Carbonaro Effect. He's taken his tour live again. This time, though, it's virtual. Carbonaro Live from Space. It's a brand new show. All kinds of interesting things are going to be going on. There's a bunch of dates that are sold out, but there are some new dates that have been added on, and we'll talk about those here in just a few minutes. For now, though, Michael Carbonaro. Michael, welcome back to the show.
Hey, hot toddy. Great to be here again.
Great to be speaking with you. So how are things with you? What's been new? What's been going on?
Oh my gosh, what a world.
Right?
It's been nutty.
Yeah.
We are a wonderful, resilient, and adaptive folks, aren't we?
In a big way.
It's amazing how things have transformed. People working from home and going to school from home. And I can't believe I'm performing live shows virtually. That's it. I never thought something like that could work, but it's amazing how it does.
Right? Did you think because we spoke last time in 2019, did you think in 2019, if anybody had said to you, you're going to be performing live, but it's going to be off of people's computers and phones, what would you have said? What would your thought process have been at that point?
I would have said absolutely not. Why not come and see me live? That's completely anti-theater,
right? To
do something through a computer, And I sure, then I was at the Civic Auditorium over there.
You were in Knoxville.
Yeah, I performed down there, and I just love. People see me on TV, but then I love having those people get to come and see me perform live, because I think a lot of them wonder if what I'm doing on TV as a magician is pulled off with camera tricks, or if it's actors doing it. So they come and see me live, and I perform these things right in front of them. They're like, oh my gosh, he's the real deal. So here we are performing a live tour again, but it's virtually through the computer. And I never thought it would work, but this is how I reframed it. I suddenly realized, as I've been playing with magic through the computer, that if you ask if someone had said that to me, what would I have thought? But if someone had said it this way, if someone had said, how would you like to be able to do your TV show, but while the people in their living room are watching your TV show, you can talk directly to them, and they can hear you and talk back to you, and you can relate to them and involve them in the show through the screen on your TV show, I would say, oh my gosh, that sounds like magic.
Right.
And that's really what this is. It's like you're watching me do a TV show, but I'm involving you in it. You can hear me. I can talk to you. I'm pulling people up on their Zoom cameras, if they want to come on screen and help out with different experiments and play with magic. And, the outcome of what you do, what you say and what you do is going to affect how the magic moves. And I get to actually have that improvisational, experimental, live magic experience with people, just like if it was at a live theater.
Right. You actually, it's almost like a special commentary, like a commentary track on your own show, but in person.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's more live than watching, even though it's on TV, watching my TV show is one thing, and coming to see me at a live show is another, but this is sort of a hybrid of both of them. It's on TV, but I'm talking directly to you. It's really kind of a miracle, and the things I've been able to discover that I could do through the camera, it is really wild. Like, I'm going to be teleporting objects from my room through the screen into people's living rooms.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm having them help out with different illusions where, the things that they say, I don't want to give away too many of the secrets.
Sure.
Things that they say will be predicted in a way that couldn't possibly happen. And, it's all free choice and totally random. And the kids get involved, the adults get involved. And it's really a way to, what we all need. It's a way to connect again.
Right.
I think my show really brings people together, and I get so many letters from people who are like, we sit and watch you together as a family, and we have so much joy just experiencing you, and now it's like, well, great, now we can talk to each other actually,
right?
Through the screen. It's like a live broadcast where you could talk to each other through the screen, so it's really fun.
And so, would you agree then? Because that's an interesting point. Do you agree? Would you agree that the pandemic maybe has brought us closer together in a strange way?
In a strange way, yes.
Yeah.
I think, I'm Gen X, so like I sort of have like I try and really be careful about technology. I kind of love and hate my cell phone.
Right.
I try to not keep my face buried in computers and in social media. And I really try to monitor that. And I think we all do, because on one hand, like you said, I mean, imagine we had this pandemic, we didn't have these wonderful things like social media or Zoom or a way to connect with each other. With
exactly.
FaceTime.
Right.
It's really a beautiful thing. So it's both good and bad. And I think with anything in life, it's a balance. And you have to be careful not to let yourself get too absorbed into it, and really take the time to still have your outside real world life. If you have a bubble of people that you're hanging out with, and your wife, your family, or whoever it is that you get to actually see in the flesh, that you really don't get the two of you sitting around in your house getting absorbed into your machines together. You really have to watch and have an experience. And that's oddly what I'm trying to do with this show. It's that, this is not everybody gather around and turn on the TV and zone out just watching another thing on television. This is like, no, you're going to participate. Your camera's going to pop up. We're going to see you on screen if you want to. Right. We're going to see you on screen, and I'm going to get to relate to you. And it's like being out at an event. So it's not just like zoning out. It's really being involved. And that's what I like to do. I like to get people energized and just watching that joy through the camera, seeing people have that experience like they're at a live event again. I think we're all just so hungry to be at live events again.
Exactly.
It brings that magic.
It does. And that's what's so awesome about this, is how interactive this show is going to be. And I think, and that's what I love. I mean, don't love, but I mean, that's the interesting thing about the pandemic, is that it has expanded technology to this point where you, someone who seems unattainable because you're a celebrity, you're out there doing things, you are coming into people's homes and actually getting them involved while they're sitting on their couch. I mean, it's incredible.
It's really wild. And I think it's cool because it's kind of like a meet and greet,
Right.
You don't get that experience pre-pandemic. You don't have, you could go watch my TV show, or you could go see me on, perform at a theater live. But this is a new kind of experience where there's a real connection, because people are used to talking on FaceTime, and they're used to talking and going to school through Zoom and going to work through Zoom meetings. But now it's like to get to have an exciting, fun, engaging, magical experience in that same way is new and exciting.
It really is. It's so interesting. And that's the thing about the pandemic. I mean, eventually we'll get back to normalcy. We'll get back to a real world type situation, but it's really nice to have these kind of like sideline things that can help keep us going,
Artists are amazing. I've been really excited to see, how the arts have really been necessary.
Yes.
I know a lot of, and magic particularly, really works in this interactive medium, a virtual medium, more so than, say, a singing concert, a concert or a play or something like that. Those things work too through Zoom, and it's nice to have those experiences, to have theater come through the screen. But the nature of magic, where you're a volunteer and you're actively involved in the outcome of what's going to happen in the moment. You pick a card and that card appears on screen. You choose a song and that's the song that's written on a cassette tape. Those moments, you're like, wait, how did that happen through my screen?
Right.
And you're not just watching, you're actually participating. And that's why magic really works virtually, maybe more so than any other art form.
I would agree with that 100%. Yeah, I mean, and I think it makes it more interesting that way too, because it's like you're still able to manipulate things and make these things happen, even if you're not in the same room. It's just an amazing thing.
Yeah, and I'm trying to capture an excitement. The idea was like, if we could be anywhere, I think we're all kind of stuck. We feel a little bit isolated. We feel a little bit like we're trapped at home. So I was like, well, how cool would it be if we could just go to outer space?
Right.
So that's what even if only in our minds, we'll be together and just sort of have this fantasy of being out in a magical universe together.
Yeah.
In time and space. And of course, it's not really outer space, but it's space. It's you're in your space, I'm in my space, and we're sharing space together. And that becomes really magical.
And that is a really beautiful thing, absolutely. And I'm so glad you're doing it. And it's like you said, the arts have really expanded. I know this show, I've done so much more with this show in the last year, just because I've been able to, because it just felt like, I've had more time and I've just had more abilities, and I want to try to entertain as many people out there as I can, just like you. So
and I think it progressed us in a way because, necessity being the mother of invention.
Yeah.
We've all adapted so quickly and found ways to make things work. And I think we're still in the very infant stages of what we're able to do through this virtual universe. But there will be such a great, after effect, so to speak, with when the world gets to turn back on and we're all feeling safe again and going to the movies and going to concerts and festivals, there'll still be like, hey, those people that couldn't attend your wedding because they're on the other side of the world, now we have the technology and the wherewithal and the know-how to be like, we're going to have a little virtual booth at my wedding where, our grandparents over in Italy, they can't make it, but they're going to be there. We can have them at the event.
Right.
So we'll be able to kind of cross-breed the events that will be virtual and a hybrid of virtual and live together. And I think that's going to be good for us, again, in balance.
Sure. Sort of like from the ashes, the phoenix rises. There's something that comes out of all of this, something positive.
Yeah, something positive, exactly.
Well, how are you personally? How have you been dealing with the pandemic the last year?
I think I think we're all going through it's a little like The Shining. It's a little the isolation, and especially for an artist and a creator, and I like to be creative. So I think, for me, it was kind of a real trip because, there's so many things in life you say like, gosh, if I just had the time to sit and have some space and some alone time to sit and create something, I'd be able to do this or I'd be able to do that. And then suddenly you have all that time and you're like, wow, I'm just as crazy as I was when I didn't have that time.
Right.
I'm still as much of a procrastinator and I'm still all over the place and I still feel like I don't have enough time to accomplish anything, and yet I have all the time in the world.
Oh, God, that is so true.
What a lesson. It's sort of amazing.
It is.
I've liked, I miss my friends. I miss concerts. I miss the movies. I miss seeing people. I miss cocktail parties. But I was on a real rocket ship ride, no pun intended, with my TV show, doing 5 seasons of the show in 7 years. And I'm out on, I was touring for 4 years as well. And I'm out on the road. And it was just, and I never would have gotten it because stuff was just out there and happening. And I'm moving from one thing to the next. I really kind of needed a sort of a staycation.
Sure.
I needed to be home, on a personal level in a way that I didn't even realize I needed it. And I wouldn't have had if it were not for this. And granted, look, nobody loves the pandemic.
Sure.
I don't mean, but there are silver linings, and I've gotten to really have some creative time and connect with my husband and just sort of get to chill at my house and sort of find myself again and be like, where was I before the Carbonaro effect started?
Right.
What was I doing? And I'm digging through old journals and old ideas, and like, I still want to make my Broadway show.
Yeah.
And I still want to, do a live tour like Doug Henning or David Copperfield. And I'm digging up all these other ideas and interests. And I've had the moment to really connect with what it is I want to do and what I like to do. And that's been a real luxury. So this virtual show, this live from space experience that I'm pulling off is coming out of sheer love and just something that I don't have to do, but something I get to do and I want and need to do to share with the fans and share magic. Because I'm dying over here. Performers need to perform.
Right.
And it's been amazing to start to do some of these preview shows, and I've done a couple of tester shows and tried some routines out. And the joy that I'm able to transmit, through the screen and coming back at me and sharing magic and having families laugh and their jaws dropping, it's so necessary and wonderful. And it's been great to create something out of love versus just jumping onto the next thing that has to get done.
Right. Now you get a chance to sit down, think about it, plot it out, and make something that really just will blow people away.
Yeah, and you know what? I still don't know if any of it's going to work, to be honest with you. I know things will work, of course.
Of course, it will.
I don't think everything I do is a kind of experiment.
Sure.
I had no idea if the Carbonaro effect would work, and even when it was working, every day we would go to shoot a new trick. Like today I'm going to make someone believe in a mermaid.
Right.
In the back of my mind, I'm like, I have no idea if this is going to work today.
Right.
You know, we really don't know. Magic and getting people to believe in things is always a kind of experiment. It makes me nervous. It makes me excited. But I think that's what people like to see. They want to see people experimenting and not knowing what's going to happen. And
right.
I think that's where I kind of operate the best. I'm right when I'm cornered and sort of like on a balance beam, like I've got to make this work.
Right.
And I think that's where the best stuff comes.
Absolutely. And if we've learned anything from the Carbonaro effect, from Impractical Jokers, it's clear people will believe anything at certain times. That's not anything we have to worry about.
You know, we're all beautiful fools, aren't we? We really are. And I say that with much love, because I would fall for every single one of my own pranks.
Oh,
I know I would.
Absolutely.
And, a lot of people say, like, oh, how are those people so stupid to fall for that? And I'm like, you say that.
Because you're on the other end of it, yeah.
Yeah, maybe some of them, you're like, how did that person believe it? I mean, I've been shocked with what people will believe in.
Sure.
They'll believe in portals in time, and they'll believe in such a thing as a mermaid, or that there's a real witch, or that someone can turn into stone. Like in our modern 2020, 2021 life, people are still believing in these things.
Right.
And it's a beautiful thing. It's a dangerous thing.
It is.
But it's a beautiful thing, especially, I think that magic presented in that way, when people watch my show, it does cause them to be a little bit more skeptical in life. They're like, that's funny. That dude on TV just, believed in a teleportation device. I maybe shouldn't believe everything I hear.
Right.
I've had schools like write to me and say, your show is really great for teaching families, kids, humans, critical thinking. Right. Really going like, wait a minute, what am I seeing? What am I believing?
Yeah.
And the fact that we allow ourselves to believe in things it really is a beautiful and positive thing. It means that we have the ability to dream and to wonder and to try and do the next thing that doesn't seem possible, try and conquer the impossible.
Imagination is still very much alive, and that's a very powerful and good thing.
I agree, Todd. I mean, I think in each one of us, there is a child that is alive.
Yes.
Some of us, it is asleep, but still alive. And I think magic and this show and everything I do, I think finds a way to just wake that up in people.
Absolutely. And it doesn't...
Myself included.
I agree. And it's in a beautiful way, too. I mean, it really is. And so well done. And I think that's why... that's why you have all the success you have, is because you have amazed us nonstop for the last, 7, 8 years? You've been on television, You've been on tour. It's been nonstop how just incredible you are, that you can open up our minds to all these different things.
And me too. I mean, what I get back from the fans, the letters that I write, that people write, and what they say about their experience and how it helped them through tough times in their life, or they bond with their daughter, or their whole family comes together to have joy by watching my show. It's so amazing to hear that, and that brings me so much joy. So it's really, really beautiful.
It is beautiful, and you bring us so much joy, and we can't thank you enough for all that you do. And Michael Carbonaro Live from Space, the sold-out show. There's sold-out shows. February 26th, 27th, and March 6th are sold out, but by popular demand, because we can't get enough of this guy, March 5th, March 12th, March 13th have been added. You can get the tickets on sale now at his website, michaelcarbonaro.com. Michael Carbonaro, thank you so much for coming back on the show and talking with me.
Absolutely, and I hope to see you there, and I hope to see tons of families. We've made it nice and cheap. It's a $25 ticket. The whole family gets to go. You don't have to buy a ticket per person. It's just a whole household.
Whole household.
For $25. It's a really cheap. I just wanted to share and have fun with people, and I can't wait to blast off to space, man. I hope to see you there.
We'll be there, and you're going to blow everybody away. Like I said, 3 sold-out dates already. You had to add 3 more. It's how great this show is going to be, and they know it already. Michael Carbonaro, thank you so much.
Thanks, Todd.
We've been talking to Michael Carbonaro on the Smokin' Hot Toddcast.